Yeah. Yeah. Bro. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to go grab some of my stuff. Wasn't in the right place. Alright. Hey, what's going on, Dark Mage? How's it going? You're back, my goat? Maybe I need to get some of this. Get some of this dust off my palette. Alright. This is one of the things I like about this airbrush primers, is that you can also just slap them on with a paintbrush. No airbrush required. Another thing about airbrush paints is that they flow really easily off the brush just because of how thin they are. Let me make sure I keep everything organized. This isn't the best. This isn't my favorite way to do this. Because you have to keep the entire unit um, like separated with their individual bases. Oops. But is what it is. I think for the rest of the models that I'm doing, I'm gonna put them on the base and just prime them with the base. I think that'll make things easier. I think for painting up 20 Trader Guard batch paint style, it'll be okay. My goal today is to roll out 20 bases, get things primed, probably start painting up these bases here. That I already have done. Whoa. When you said roll out, my brain instantly quoted Autobots roll out. Nice. Alright. This can sit for a sec. Dry. Nice. Get out our air dry clay here. How much clay do I need for 20 bases? I have no idea. But we'll find out. Get a nice working area here. So I should have two nice workspaces here. Big texture. Nice. See this one. Okay. There's a few spots that didn't get as much texture, so we're just gonna try and avoid those. 4. Actually, that says hella bases. Good to know. I mean, I guess it's probably because I'm doing 25mm bases. So like, they're really not that big. Three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, and then I have one 32mm base, one 40mm. Though actually I have two 32mm bases. Oops. Maybe I'll try and roll out some more, but this stuff dries quick. See if we can get a quick one more base. That looks good. This is 40, 32. Actually, doing this many bases at once is it's kind of hard because the when you roll out the clay nice and thin, it starts to dry like really quickly, and then now I'm like scrambling a little bit to get the models like feet imprinted into the bases. Oops. Please stop drying. I'm being betrayed by my materials. Okay. we're almost there, and which is good because these are getting pretty dry. I'm gonna make sure and try and make sure they're as flat as possible to the base. All right. 23 bases done. Easy dubs. Although this 40mm base, the base cutter is really not. It's really not 40mm. I don't know why that one's so far off. The rest are pretty close. But then the 40mm one is just like look at all that overhang. All good, I'll just have to sand it down a little bit more than the others, but like lol. Touch-ups here on these bases. And I can start painting. Apparently I mixed all the bases up too. Even though I said I was going to keep them all lined up. No, actually I prefer chaos. Okay. Alright, we got it. I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick to get this clay off. I'll be right back. Alright. We're also gonna grab some mud here to put into this one. Just some nice texture paint to cover up a hole that we had. Okay. And at this point, I'm also going to glue them down because I'm sick of having to lay them out like this next to their bases. Keep track of them. Sadly, with this, you do have to use super glue, which is like it's not as good as the plastic glue is, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not a deal breaker, I'll say. Although what is a deal breaker is getting the super glue to come out of the bottle. One of the reasons I'm doing this before painting the ground is a lot of times super glue will like frost over as it sets. And so if you apply stuff with super glue after you've painted, you might have to do a little bit of repainting because of the weird like frosting effect that happens with super glue. It's not too crazy. Usually it just ends up being like a, you know, a little extra paint. But I'm not a fan of repainting things I've already done. I got too many unpainted models to be repainting things, you know? Oops. Yeah, initially I was like, I don't know if I want to do, you know, 40 cultists. Because I'm really not into doing like horde batch painting, like not really my thing. But doing bases like this definitely helps. I can crank out a lot of bases that all look you know, similar, but they're all different. Doesn't take a lot of time. Cultists are the best models? No. No, I'm good. Nothing against cultists personally, right? It's more just horde painting, you know? Not a big fan. But this makes it easier. This and contrast paint will make it doable. I have to flip over these bases here to make sure the bottoms dry out, because while the top of the clay puck dries nicely, the bottom can stay wet for like days if it's pressed up against a base. Flip them over real quick. Like you're cooking something in the oven, you know? Currently building up my battle sisters. Nice. Just enjoying them. I've been building a lot of Space Marines. I'm just not enjoying them at all. Is it just like they're like lots of fiddly small bits that's making it not enjoyable? Honestly, yeah. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Let's see, there were some kits that like I really didn't enjoy building. I'm trying to think of what they were. Nothing comes to mind immediately. Oh, the Vespids. The Vespid sting wings from the Hivestorm box. Though I really didn't like those, like at all. I can never seem to get the pipes on the backpack to the Melt-A-Gun perfect. It feels like ass to do. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, another one. The Necrons. The Necron Warriors with like the Gauss blasters. It's like they have the same kind of thing where it's like you have like the cables from their back that go to their gun. Oh, those are terrible. Oh. And then the Necrons, like their shoulder pads are split down the middle. So you have this giant like gap in like the middle of all their shoulder pads that you have to like fill and sand out and stuff. I didn't like building Necrons. I was not a fan, actually. It's the same with the sisters, yeah. I hate when they do that. And you're like, why, bro? Why do you hate me? Oh, man. Like the Space Marine shoulder pads are nice because it's one piece. I don't know why they decided that they would do like a bunch of models with like those two-piece shoulder pads that are split down the middle. It's kind of annoying to me because I'm like, you show that you know how to make shoulder pads that are a single piece and don't have a weird gap down the middle, but like you choose to make them two pieces. If you don't get the arms positioned the exact way, then the pipes are each headed. Yeah, those. I like the gun cables. Like gun cables, I think are cool, but it's so hard to get them to line up properly. I don't know. You end up trying to like glue 5 things at the same time. Like you're trying to glue both arms to the body. You're trying to glue the gun to both of the arms. And then you're trying to get the cable to line up properly as well. So you got like 5 things that like you're in the process of gluing and trying to work it while it's still wet so that you have some wiggle room. Trying to not get it to fall apart. Yeah, gun cables. I'd take Eldar over these sisters right now. Yeah, I like Eldar. I didn't have any problems personally building Eldar. They do have that, they also do that thing though where they like to split the shoulder plate in half and you're like, why do you hate me? Alright, I didn't super think through how long some of this stuff would take. So I'm actually going to pull out my my Chaos Knight real quick. Because you know what I have to do? Paint trim. Oh, no. Alright. Eldar are fun to build and fun to paint. Unheard. Yeah. Yeah, I like painting Eldar. Yeah, building them's fun. Yeah. Eldar are nice. That's a nice faction. 10 out of 10. They're cool models. Yeah. I know. Alright. Although I saw I saw a video definitely rethinking my existence while building these sisters. Oh no. Yeah, I recently saw a video of someone using liquid mask, and I have to say, I'm gonna need to try that because that looked really nice. But I mean, I've heard stories of people having a really hard time getting it done. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant to use it, but in that one video I watched, that looked like a dream. Was it Eons of Battle? No. It was like an Instagram reel that I saw of someone using it. I mean, it very well could have been. I really don't remember who posted it. Liquid mask is it's like a paint that you apply. So I would apply a paint to the armor panel, and then it would like set, and I could like airbrush the trim or paint it, whatever, right? I would use an airbrush because, yeah. And then you just like peel the layer off the armor panel, and then it's done, right? Like, and it doesn't pull up the paint underneath. It works as it masks off the area, so none of the paint gets through. Looks like a really cool product. But yeah, I've heard some people that are like, I can't get it off, and I'm like, ooh. So then you're just left with like a chunky armor panel. Like, it's a little scary. Sounds too good to be true. Yeah. I mean, let me see if I can find it, because I sent it recently. Oh, here it is. How well does this... Hey, that actually shows up pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Incredible. Just zoop. You'll love to see it. Whose video was that? I didn't recognize the creator. You want me to rep them on stream? This guy. I was gonna try and say his name, but I was like, I don't know if I know how to say that. But anyway, if I can get my hands on that stuff and figure out how he did it, like that looks like a dream, actually. Like I'm so down. If I had to guess, I would say the process is probably something like you paint the armor panel, then you apply a gloss varnish, then you apply the liquid mask. And then you get a nice, like a nice clean peel that doesn't damage your paint job. But like I said, I'll have to look into it a little bit before I attempt it. 'Cause it's a little scary. Now the big boy. Just gotta take his arms off. I glued these, like the shin panels on a little early, but that's okay. Does make things a little awkward when trying to paint the trim. Not too bad though. Hey, what's up, Evil? How's it going? Kind of just working on chaos stuff again. Miscellaneous chaos is the theme for this weekend. Had a nice day? Nice, that's good to hear. That day's been alright so far. Excuse me. I didn't wake up feeling the best, but I am feeling better now. So that's awesome. I went on a hunt for my masking tape. I'm looking to do a little bit of hazard stripes here. Just something I have to do before I put on the rest of the armor plates. Does that look straight? Straight, evenly spaced maybe. Hopefully. Finished my 2,000 point army. Going for the 5,000 now? Sheesh. 5,000 points of Blood Angels? Go crazy. Love my boys from the 5th Company. Yeah, for sure. No reason to change it up if you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I need to get, like, just this corner. This is where I absolutely hate, like, little rivets. Rivets? They make life hard when you're trying to mask. Another thing I should have done is I should have applied the masking around the object first. I'm about to have a whole breakdown. Oh no. The sisters. Why? Why are you doing this to my boy? Angels Vermilion are the best of Sanguinista Sons. Is that a successor chapter? I'm not familiar with the... No! I worked so hard to get that corner. Bro. Is that a successors chapter? For the Blood Angels? Angels Vermilion. As long as it's Blood Angels, I love it. Evil is a simple person. He needs few things in life. The only thing he needs is Blood Angels. Alright, we got a little bit of masking here. We're gonna try our best to get that little corner again. Main issue is it's such a small corner and there's a rivet right there. Alright, hopefully that stays. My goodness. Yeah, tweezers. The issue is, like, my pair of tweezers, they kind of bow out at the end. I need to get new ones, is the answer. Cause yeah, they They don't work too well anymore. Using a little bit of the orange yellow amp color. It's a nice like starting base coat to get a solid yellow color established. What color am I using for the gold? I am using Rich Gold from Pro Acryl. And I'm highlighting up using like white gold and silver. And then I'm shading down with like Reichland Flesh Shade. We're getting a little bit of golden yellow here. And then our bright yellow, like I'm talking yellow yellow. I have my next 2 matches this week. I'm so happy that I found a club. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear. Clubs are nice. Being able to find consistent games is great. I'm assuming it's just like at your local hobby store. You get like a bunch of people. Ow, a ban evader. Do I happen to have a mod in the chat that could help me out? Right here, right now, with God as my witness. Oh no! Bro is invoking the God Emperor himself. Rip the homies. More time for Angels of Vermilion then. Dark Mage is in the pits of despair. And Evil's like, hey, have you ever heard of Blood Angels? Hey, yo. I don't know how I have over 4,000 points of Battle Sisters and never realized how abysmal building these models are. The wonder has worn off, and you can finally see the truth. The truth. I'm on my villain arc. I'm with Abaddon from now on. Oh no. Building Battle Sisters turned you into a heretic? Yo. Is there a support group online? Maybe a subreddit, perhaps? It's like for people who need help after having built sisters models. Evil's like, man, I want to be mad, but I can't. Abaddon's too cool. Hey, actually, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. That masking tape was being held on by hopes and dreams, and it got the job done, so... Look at that. Ooh. Little bit of cleanup, but all in all, that turned out super nicely. I have Sylvaneth to build after this. Oh no! Go build like a rhino. You got any like box tanks? You're just slapping together like a cube. Heresy is pretty lame, except that Abaddon guy. He's pretty cool. 14th Black Crusade is coming from Dark Mage. Oh no. About to be the 14th and 15th. Oh no. Please, somebody. Save my boy. Let me get a little black here too. The only tanks I have to build right now are 2 Bane Blades and a Cigar. So not a Rhino is what you're saying. Might be more difficult to build than the Sylvaneth is what you're saying. Bro's got 2 Bane Blades just sitting in his back pocket though? That's crazy. The best tank is the Ball Predator. Just build my Emperor's Children models up. That would be chill. Nice. Yeah. Some nice, easy Space Marines. Dang, bro. Every time I put on my mask, it smudges up my glasses. The Sakaran is hands down the best looking tank with insane rules if you play it. I didn't know if it had I didn't know it had Legends rules for 40k. That's really cool. Do all the Heresy era tanks have that? Like, can you run like a Land Raider Proteus? Like, you're like 2 las cannons per side? Not enough. Give me minimum 4. I think Land Raider Proteus? No, it's the Land Raider Spartan. That's what it is. I have one. I think it has like 12 las cannons, maybe? 10? 10 or 12 las cannons? Like, bro. Next to Ball Predator with flamers? Yeah. I'll give you that point, heretic. Yo. Let's see, I'm trying to do some hazard stripes on the head, because I really... How did I do these last time? Proteus has Legends rules as well. Yo, that thing is a monster. Alright, so last time... I'm gonna have to do another corner piece. Guess I have to accept that. 2 Baneblades chilling for an army I'm no longer building. Your guard army. Excuse me. 500 points of guard. Waiting for an opportunity. I was going to run 2 Baneblades with the rest of the list just Death Riders. Yo. Death Riders and Baneblades, huh? mean, I guess. Yeah, the Death Riders are so funny because they're like, to call the fun of the enemy with these two. It was for a narrative game we had planned, semi-based on a real Battle from the Creed book. Well, that's cool. Yeah, Death Riders are awesome. Yo, what if we actually just jousted them on, like, actual horses? Want to replicate the Battle of Ball? That'd be cool. I think my new strat for hazard stripes is I'm just gonna lay down a full, like I'm just gonna cover it in tape. Seth and Dante friend moment. No one has that many Blood Angels and Tyranids. Yeah. Doing a Tyranid invasion is just crazy. Like there's so many Tyranids. I boofed it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a straight line of tape and then I'm gonna peel up every other one. And that should make sure that my lines are straight. I had to play against two Norn emissaries once. We no longer play together. Do any one of us play active? I do not. I would do the same. Yeah, Norn emissaries are pretty brutal. Question is, how far back do I go? Cause like, I guess you can see pretty far back into the, like, under the hood. Although I don't think you can see, well, I'll do one more. Yeah, you can stop there. Yeah, it's pretty close to like being like, you know, but I can do one more piece of tape, like, like that's fine. It should be a war crime. One. Oh man, and the one I put down, it gets peeled off. Yo. That's what I get. I should have listened to Evil. Better too much than too little, yeah. That was my thinking. Like bringing Angron and two bloodthirsters. You're not there to have fun, you're there to stop other people from having fun. Oh no. Yeah. That's a lot of bloodthirsters. I had one guy, I was playing Age of Sigmar, and the guy was like, I was playing Age of Sigmar and it was 1,000 points. And the guy was like, hey, is it okay if I bring two Bloodthirsters to this 1,000-point game? And I was like, I mean, why not? You know? Like, it's just for fun, right? Bro, I got smacked so hard. He was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked about the Bloodthirsters. And I was like, I mean, I allowed it, right? Like, But yeah, two bloodthirsters at 1,000 points was criminal. That was too many bloodthirsters. Bashed Angron. They're gonna find. Hopefully, they find some way to bring Sanguinius back, cause like they've been working the other Primarchs in. Like Sanguinius is gonna be soon, right? He'll be back. Although if I had to guess, I would say they'd probably do like Vulcan first, right? Because like Vulcan has like he's kind of immortal. Like written into his lore. Hey man, it's a casual game. Okay, cool. I'll bring 3 Rokal Dorans, Angron, 2 Bloodthirsters, and 6 Baneblades. Is that casual enough? Yo. I'm not salty, I swear. I can tell. Definitely not salty. Don't think Sanguinius is coming back. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I don't mind what people they bring back, honestly. The thing that does get me is when people bring epic heroes in Crusade games. Yeah. Yeah, Crusade games are mostly because, like, I feel like Crusade games are more narrative than, like, normal 40k games. It's a little bit of a different vibe. Same reason why, like, a lot of times people don't allow you to bring Primarchs in Horus Heresy games, because Horus Heresy games tend to be more narrative, right? So it kind of breaks, part of what makes the game interesting for people. His actions will be less important than they were for the Emperor and Sanguinius. Yeah. He did have a big moment in the Horus Heresy that would maybe be less impactful with him coming back. And it would kind of go against, like, the Blood Rage, the Black Rage. As much as it hurts to say they should keep Sanguinius dead, yeah. Mostly because Sanguinius dying was such a big part of the Blood Angels, like, lore. Yeah, Black Rage, yeah. If he did come back, would the Black Rage go away? You think? Sanguinius comes back and he's like, wait. He's like, what? He's like, what? What do you mean? Why you guys so weird? Just be less angry. Epic heroes don't get any buffs in Crusade games. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a little weird to bring epic heroes into Crusade games. I'd like to see GW kill off some more important characters and cycle through some new ones. Oh, he talked? Interesting. Come on. It would be interesting to cycle through some new characters, but some people, I think, would get pretty mad if you killed off their their favorite character. It's all good. You don't need to be perfect in Twitch chat. we're a little bit off here. See if we can fix it a little bit. That's better. If I think Dante is gonna save the Emperor like his father did, that'd be cool. Some nice parallel. Love a good parallel. Honestly, if GW killed off or Dorn, and cycle through new characters, I wouldn't be mad. Some people aren't as rational though, yeah. Some people are so particular about they're like, you ruined the lore. Like, bro, it's their lore to write. Chill. Put poverty instead of love. Oh no. If they just keep the same characters in a constantly changing storyline, yeah. The lore, yeah, it will get stagnant. I think that's why they I think that's why they went into the Horus Heresy so much. So that they didn't have to keep the same characters that they were using in 40K. They could build some new ones. And then I was like, oh, they died. That's why you don't know them in 40K. So. Make Big E a Chaos God? That is... yeah, kind of like Rogue One. Yeah, exactly. He could be. Kind of like how the Eldari gods are kind of... they're kind of just like Chaos gods. Like not... like they don't say that the Eldari gods are Chaos gods, but like they are, right? Like I think he would come back as Starchild. It would be, I think it would be interesting to have the, have the Emperor be like a Chaos God in that, and just have like the Imperium go into like a full-on crisis mode where all of the devout loyalists are now like having to rethink their entire lives. That'd be crazy. They even say that the Emperor took too much power from the warp to kill Horus. and thus propelled him into a higher state of being. Yeah. It'd be an interesting story point for sure. Chaos and Loyalists fighting the Emperor and his corrupted 10,000. That'd be wild. No friend hammer. We then start playing Warhammer 50K. This is 10,000 years after the Emperor evolved into a Chaos God. Chaos corrupted custodes. That'd be cool. I get the point for a little, but I can't see Chaos and Loyalists together. Yeah. I don't think so either. There's a lot of bad blood there. That would make things hard. I am getting towards the end of my stream here though. I'm actually on a hard deadline right now. I got places to be, sadly. I will be streaming again next week though. After I spent all that time setting up this nice masking too. I will likely be streaming the same thing though. Painting up my Chaos Knights, a little bit of cultists and such. Next week. I'll try and stream during the week again. This week was a little tough work-wise, so I didn't stream Thursday or Friday, but yeah, hopefully I will see you all then. Warhammer 50K, somehow Horus is back as War Master. Yo! Gilliman in your brain have 60 children? Yo. Bro's been reading too much fanfic. Alright, well, I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you did too. Hopefully I will see you all again next time. I hope you have a great rest of your days.